Today, we are going to talk about options. I was definitely not expecting to make a second video on this topic, but I just wanted to get this out of the way before we hop into the rest of the amazing changes that we have in store for us in the upcoming season. I'm just going to go in raw with no lube. The shoulder charge changes do suck, but not necessarily for the reason the naysayers are out to make it seem like. Some galaxy brain gigachads out there, some real Albert Einsteins are trying to frame this in a disingenuous way to make it seem like the people that are criticizing the shoulder charge nerfs are somehow saying that Arc Titan isn't powerful and didn't deserve some sort of changes. That couldn't be farther from the truth. Is Arc Titan strong? Yes. Nerfs have been in order for Striker Titan for a while now. Striker nerfs is overall good for the game. Is shoulder charge a little overtuned as a movement ability in comparison to the others? Also yes. It's the only movement ability in the game with no cooldown. Fair enough. In that case, just give it the Icarus dash treatment. Put it on a set cooldown like every other movement ability in the goddamn game and you're done. Tying it to the strength stat is just unbelievably dumb. It's overkill. There's honestly no reason to have that. It's an unnecessarily heavy toll to have to pay. The players are being punished for changes that Bungie implemented terribly from the start. All they had to do from the beginning was give shoulder charge a cooldown timer instead of all the other bullshit nerfs it has received past, future, and present. This also could have been avoided by just giving the player more options, especially in PvP. There's no reason why PvE had to suffer for this. It's like the players are being punished because of Bungie's inability to appropriately nerf shoulder charge and their unwillingness to buff the alternatives. It's so strange. It just feels like the wrath and retribution from God himself angered by things that they allowed to happen. Hell, I feel like if they made it so that Thunderclap and Ballistic Slam were better and just gave shoulder charge its previous tracking back and then just put even a 10-second cooldown on shoulder charge as a movement ability, no one would care. Make the other options viable and statistically you will see a drop in shoulder charge usage anyway. I'm a big believer in player choice. If you're going to nerf something, you are expecting players to drop it and then switch to something else. The only issue with this is the other two melees on Arc Titan sucks donkey dick. Ballistic Slam is more inconvenient shoulder charge. It requires double the setup and an exotic. There's no effect for it, and it's a guaranteed death if you don't manage to get the one shot because of the animation lockout nerf. Even with an exotic setup, you're not getting the one-hit kill unless you're surrounded by 2 to 3 enemies, and Thunderclap is just Thunderclap. Arc Titan is really good and needed to be touched, obviously. I can't believe that has to be said. It's hard for some to understand that you can criticize a change while acknowledging that it needed to change in some way, maybe just not the way presented. Is shoulder charge nerf justified? Yeah, but in this proposed form, no, not really. I don't feel as though PvE should be punished so heavily to implement this change, especially with today's movement abilities in the form of strand grapple, well skating, and shatter dives, which are all far more effective movement abilities already. My solution is just to give it a base cooldown of 5 seconds to at least compete with the other two classes in PvE while also nerfing it in PvP. I feel as though that's a good middle ground to start. What I am afraid of is this. Let me peer into my crystal ball now. I see a rise in usage of Syntheseps and Dune Marchers after this patch goes live as a result of trying to counter the nerfs. So what's going to happen now? Nerf the two main useful exotics for Titans in PvP because Titans literally have no other choice but to use them because the vast majority of exotics in the game are useless, or give them more options by buffing other key exotics to offset the very obvious and foreseeable rise in these two exotics as a result of another mismanaged nerf. The way I see it, it's called a sandbox for a reason. Give us more tools and try to bring shoulder charge in line with other movement abilities first, and then see what happens from there before trying to kill off an entire ability. There are 39 Titan exotics, but only maybe 9 suitable to run on a regular basis. We need options. We are putting a band-aid on a paper cut, meanwhile we are losing blood from 9 other gunshot wounds. Here's me crossing my fingers and hoping that once again we don't get punished for the sins of our creator.